Yo, the quantum couch, the quantum couch, the quantum couch, you better bet that shit. The quantum couch, you better bet that shit. It's Steven and Bruce, the quantum couch.
Welcome back, everybody. Come take a seat on the Quantum Couch. I am your host, Steven, with my other host here.
Hey, it's Bruce.
And today we have a pretty, I don't want to say packed agenda, because obviously we just like rambling, but we're trying to tone it down more for the listeners, just so you guys can have some more bite-sized episodes. But we got a few things to talk about today, starting off with our news of the week. Uh,
Yeah.
Supposedly, we're getting a Spider-Man trailer
Woo!
this week.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I hope so. Obviously, I'll never say no to any sort of trailer for any movie I'm looking forward to. But kind of just going based off Sony's history,
Yeah,
we're more than likely getting it in April by CinemaCon. So
yeah,
I would say don't get your hopes too high.
yeah. I second that.
Uh,
I agree. I don't think that's a. I don't. I mean, first of all, we'd have to question the sources, and then second of all, I mean, I think like you said, the history in itself proves that Sony and Marvel, as a machine for promoting these films, are going to use the best advantage they can. And CinemaCon is the best advantage. I mean, only way I could see them doing it is pre-gaming and with snippets or vignettes. But honestly, that's not their MO, so I doubt it. Yeah.
yeah. And it's not on the level of Doomsday where you could drop a teaser a
Hmm.
full 8 months away from a release of a movie. Um,
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man has that kind of fan base behind it, but for this kind of
Yeah.
movie, I don't think so.
Nah.
Um,
Nah, I'm with you on that. I don't think so either. I would say thumbs down to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't be putting any money on that.
Nah, me neither.
Next up here, though, we have some DC news. We got Supergirl having some really good positive test screenings this past 2 weeks. It was, from what I've heard, it was the fifth test screening done for the movie. This one has been received the best. Um, Comes in at an hour and 45 minutes, though. So it's a shorter,
It feels short. Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
short. I was hoping for at least 2 hours, like minimum.
No, but I would say because it's James Gunn, are we gonna get quality over quantity?
It's a good point.
Are we gonna get like so much in a good movie that an hour and 45 minutes is more than enough for the quality we're gonna get? You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think
and that's fair. I mean, James Gunn, whatever the listeners may think of James Gunn and his projects, I am a firm believer that he is probably the right person right now to take control at DC.
yeah,
He knows his stuff. He's a huge nerd, like all of us,
yeah,
and he just makes some really good stuff. I mean, all the Guardians were fun. Um, Peacemaker's incredible.
amazing, amazing.
Superman was just. I don't think I've ever had a movie like Superman, really quick rant, that made me walk out of the movie theater going like, I need to be a better person. You know what I mean? And I
I
hold
love.
that shtick for like a week, and then after that, I'm just like yelling at people again. So I mean, but yeah, James Gunn is great.
I think just to add to that as well, I felt comfortable with the two things that I've seen, the trailer and even that end credit scene, enough to know that they picked a good actress. I liked her in Game of Thrones, right? I liked her there. I thought, wow, she looked incredibly young in the show. However, watching her in this movie and the character, I think she's perfect for it. Um, and I like this take on her. Uh, where she's still a teenager and he's a grown man, and he's almost like big brothering her a lot of the time. I like that dynamic. I think that feels good. I think that goes in line with the comic book series. It makes more sense that way, considering she's trapped in the Phantom Zone for so long and didn't age up. I love it. I think, and obviously it gives way to Man of Tomorrow, right, where we see the possibility of Lex Luthor and Superman fighting against Brainiac, right? Like we do get that because of because of Supergirl, right? So yeah, I'm with it. I think it's gonna be a good movie. I can't wait. I'm excited.
leading into our next one, our last bit of news here for the week. For all of our GI Joe fans, you guys just lost the head writer Max Landis due to creative differences. He is a little bit controversial though,
Mm,
so it's not too bad. They're waiting on Danny McBride right now to go through and submit his takes for the script. Which, if you have Danny McBride working on something, you're gonna get something good. He delivers on everything. I mean, he did the part of the reboot for the new Halloween trilogy that came out.
yeah,
He was
yeah, and I
behind that.
like
He's a
that.
mastermind.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I think we need that kind of I think we need that kind of approach, a fresh approach, a reboot approach. Let's not get like you said in our pre conversation, let's not get a snake eyes. Let's not do that yet. Let's
Yeah,
lead into that. Let's get that, in a second iteration or something. Leave something on the table for later, right? Like let's just get like an early GI Joe. I just think, like a pre Cobra. I don't know, just something really. I don't know. They could do better than they have. That's all I'm asking. Just do better than they have.
yeah, and it really comes down to who they got playing. I mean, you first of all you need to nail the casting because I think the casting previously has kind of been like an actor or two off of being a really solid franchise or a solid movie, let alone the director too. I feel like those movies are really rushed and they can't understand their own identity.
Yeah.
Um, so you just got to find someone who's competent and who's there's nothing wrong with hiring big fans of these movies. If you got a director who's a huge fan of it, take advantage of that kind of stuff because they'll usually deliver.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's our news of the week. If you guys like segments like that here, definitely let us know because we like going over stuff like that for everybody who enjoys, you know, a piece of different fandoms and whatnot, like we do.
Yeah. And it's a lot of news too. Throw stuff in the chat and we'll research it and we'll try to give our point of view on that and try to talk on that as well. So
Because if there's something that we haven't heard, I mean, and you guys are like dying to know our opinions on it, or not dying to know our opinions, but if you guys really want to know what we think about it, yeah, definitely let us know. You can either tag us in a comment, DM us. I mean, we're
yeah.
pretty active on social media there, so we're checking everything. But yeah, that leads us pretty much into today's main topic episode. This is Daredevil month. Season
Yeah.
2 of Born Again's coming. We
I'm
need
with
to
it.
talk about what we just went through in season 1.
Give it to me.
So recently I did a rewatch of Born Again because
Love it.
I like kind of keeping a little refresh on,
I love it.
especially since it's out for a while ago. So my and this is going to be like I don't know. I can't even tell you what I think is going to be in store for season 2 because of all the different news.
Before you go there, let's talk about season 1 in preparation because here's what season 1. And I think both you and I agreed that first part of it, you could almost see where the reshoots come in later
A thousand
because the
percent.
first part was kind of like eh. But then as they got through it, we could definitely see where the Netflix crew came back and kind of took over and started to do their thing again, especially with the choreography, right? Like I felt like the choreography was definitely better. But I think that aside, one of the most heartbreaking things for me was the actor from that played the White Tiger actually dying in real life. He was
Yeah.
Puerto Rican, from the island, and it was important for me, being Puerto Rican, to see a superhero on screen that resembled me, right? And so I felt a part of something. But
Mhm.
even more so, um, what I really enjoyed that they didn't just leave us hanging. They put a finality to that, right? Where we got not an off-screen death like we did with the Black Panther, right? We got an on-screen death, like, and it was a fucking excuse my language. It was like a world shattering. My man ran and like he was on the curb and boom, dead. Like what?
Yeah.
Like on one scene, he's just dead, like shot in the head, dead. Most graphic, gruesome, like boom, dead. And so, I, and I'll conclude my point on this. I'm just happy that that is coming back with his niece. She's coming back as the White Tiger. I don't know that for sure, but I've heard that is certainly the
Oh,
rumor. We'll
yeah,
get
yeah,
a
yeah.
White Tiger
Ava.
reveal with her
She
in it. Ava.
she's definitely gonna look to honor him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good. My biggest takeaway from season one, or and it's gonna maybe lead into the talk of season two, so I'll try to hold on to this point for not too long. So the first episode, I mean, obviously going through Bullseye killing Foggy,
Right. Yeah.
driving Matt to kind of go to places where he doesn't go often. The last time we see him really go there is when he's fighting Fisk.
Yeah.
But this time around, the CGI was a little like Uncanny Valley, where like their movement was a little odd, and it wasn't like Netflix when it's gritty. You can tell they probably shot it 15 times. But the thing I love about this fight is that it drove Matt to that point where he's at that breaking point with his philosophy, where he's almost blinded, physically and metaphorically speaking. He's blinded by this thought of like he wants to kill him. He pushes him off the fucking building. I mean, that's a 4-story drop.
Yeah.
I really love it. I love that right after that episode, we don't get any Daredevil. It jumps right to being a year later, and we just kind of go to court. And it's really good when they go to court.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. Hector Ayala, that was the name of not the actor, but the character
The
of
character.
White Tiger. Yeah.
White and the
Yeah.
thing is with White Tiger, I mean, they made his costume and his outfit look so good for being like a dude
Yeah.
who's just helping other people.
Yeah.
And
I-
that was incredible.
I'll let you know something that now, if you go back and rewatch it again, or if the audience rewatches it, they'll hear when he has the White Tiger suit on, you hear a bunch of different stereophonic sound effects. One of them that's buried in there is the sound of a frog, only indigenous to Puerto Rico. No other tropical islands. It won't survive. You can't take it and put it on these other islands. It will die. It's called a coqui. And is this little frog is a little tree frog, is specifically indigenous to Puerto Rico, and it's almost endangered now. So it's important that those little moments, they're Easter eggs that exist in there, that you could tell they really put a lot of thought into, and they
Mhm.
didn't just kind of give us some chintzy stuff. And the minute I heard it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the Koki! What are they really? Holy crap! It's serious about this." So yeah, respect to them on that. It goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier with them. Really changes the dynamics of what I think we had originally. That was going to come out by Disney with this kind of new reshoots with not to say that, yeah, the character White Tiger wasn't probably part of that original plan. I just think that the Netflix people really understand things in a way that Disney doesn't always, and so they probably were more responsible for some of those deep dive moments. So yeah, I love that. By the way, that was my rant on that one.
1000%. And I think that's one thing that Marvel does a really good job on is like they really take things with like love and like just care, especially with something like Hector with like his background and his family. And he
Yeah,
talks about, Puerto Rico, and he was like, I miss being on the beach. Hearing, I think he said like hearing like the frog or hearing like some
yeah,
sort of animal. And
yeah.
he was like,
No,
and
that's exactly what it was.
tourists are annoyed by it, but we love it,
Yeah,
and it's like
Mr.
you'll
Koki.
get
Yeah,
yeah, and he was like, "You'll see that beach again, Hector." Like, I think it's one of those things where it makes me feel confident until when Marvel decides to bring in someone like Miles and a Puerto Rican background of him and his family. That's going to be
yeah,
really fun to see. But yeah, I mean I think with that too, the whole thing with White Tiger kind of just going through and getting point blanked right in the back of the head leads you into one of the biggest
crazy.
what the fucks. Like there
Yeah, that was.
now we see this reveal of a Punisher logo, and it's
Yeah.
you can kind of tell. I mean, when I watched it the first time around, I was like, no fucking way that's Frank Castle.
No.
No way.
First of all, Frank would never do a cheap shot like that. He's the kind that goes face first, head into
Mhm.
any kind of action. He's not sneaky and conniving like that. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He's confrontational. So that was the first tell for me. The second
Mhm.
tell was when you looked at the way that the skull looked, it didn't quite look like the one we seen in earlier iterations either, right? So it just kind of
Yeah.
looked different. It looked more fabricated. You know, it, like Frank's skull comes from him wiping the blood off his face. Am I right? Or is that how
Yeah.
that went? Or some crazy shit like that. And then all of a sudden, like you look at the print that's on this skull here, it looks like it's just somebody that kind of used a stencil to create it, right? Like you could
Yeah.
tell it's not. Yeah.
It's almost like, hey, what do you remember about the Punisher logo? And I'll just try to redraw it, you know? And for someone who doesn't pay attention to Frank and that whole thing, they do it. And I think it's one of those fun, it's really funny too, is like, they just go through and there's like, yep, we have this group of corrupt cops. I mean, you saw the guy who had the tattoo on his neck in the courtroom when they were testifying. And I think that was one of my favorite parts of season one, too, as well. Is like, okay, great. Now we're dealing with these corrupt cops. Obviously, you have Wilson Fisk as the mayor. He's buying the dude out to be what was it, like the chief officer, where he was like
Yeah.
talking about like how he brought his favorite sub from Philly was D'Angelo's and how he loves it. He's like, just how does it sound if you want to be this? And they're like, I mean, okay. And he's at the end he's just like, men are easy. And that
Yeah.
sandwich was shit. I didn't like that sandwich, but men are easy. It's just like they do a really good job on playing that whole side of things. Going back to your point with Frank Castle being like upfront and confrontational, yeah, he makes it known that he's coming after you too. You could stand across a football field, he'll scream your name and he'll walk towards you. He'll go through anybody and anything to make sure he gets to you last. You know? He
Yeah.
toys with his
Some of the
food. And
best
that's what I like with Frank.
Absolutely. Some of his best dialogue is with him and Daredevil, right? Like
Oh
not
yes.
just in that, but even in the original series, Daredevil and the Punisher, like the dialogue between them is so genuine between two guys struggling with life and all of its consequences while living this other alternative life with, playing vigilantes, but also outside of the law because the law is the corrupt part of this whole endeavor. Like you see their dialogue, it really encompasses all of that burden as well,
Yeah.
especially that one where he's like in the basement of what looks like a projects buildings, and that kind of basement is damp. If and I know those basements personally from living in the city. Those basements, they're damp, they're dark, they're dreary, they feel moist inside, like you can't get warm because it's always so damp and wet. It just feels nasty in there. And you could tell with him in there, you could see that like he's just surviving in there. He's not living, he's surviving in there. And it's so organic to the character, and what they're trying to emphasize for how Frank Castle's living under the radar and everything, and then the conversation happens between him and Red, right?
And it's one of the
He's
best back and forths
yeah,
of all time.
he's like, and they start baiting each other into rage moments, and then
Yeah.
they get
He
into
was like,
that
say
little
his name.
tussle.
You can't even say
Yeah,
his name. Say it. Say it. Come on. It's your friend. Did you do anything to save him there? And then he hits him. He's like, fuck, I'm sorry. I apologize. Like, and he was like, what are you apologizing for? That's the most honest thing you've said. And like that, because Frank knows, and Frank obviously has zero issue in killing, but he's trying to tell Matt, like, hey, there's a line that you can cross. Like there's a justifiable reason for why I do what I do. And he even tells him too, like straight up in the episode, he was like, when you sit there, you hear him talking, don't you? And he was like, I when I sit still, I hear my son talking to me. And he tells me to get every single one of them. And then you're just like,
get him,
fuck.
daddy.
Yeah, get him, daddy. Get every single last one of them. And you're like, okay, like that they have, and this is maybe what leads us into this whole like Punisher topic is no one does it like John Berthal. He is
Perfect.
the guy.
He's the perfect character. He's the perfect actor for that.
Yeah. And if
Perfect.
you do this whole
I think
special presentation with him, you can't kill him. But at the same time, if he's possibly looking at leaving this role, do you think Frank Castle's a
I think he's
goner?
gone. I do. I think he's gone. I think it's mm,
Well, here's the weird thing. Sorry to cut you off.
nah,
The
it's
special
good.
presentation, does that take place before Brand New Day? I think it does. So then you don't kill him in Brand New Day, do you?
It's I mean, technically, it's still Sony, right? Like it. I mean, I know Disney has its stamp on it. I know Marvel has, but technically, it's still Sony, and Sony would do it. But I just don't think that Disney. I don't think Marvel would let one of their main characters die on a Sony movie. Like that feels. But it's the only place that it would happen because we didn't even see T'Challa die on screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know how. I don't know how that would work. But
You go, Frank
okay.
he's done what he needed to do and he's gone.
No, because we know if things go the way that they are, which we assume they are, right? Safely
Hmm.
assume. When doomsday occurs and everything else happens, right? Um, we're gonna lose all these characters no matter what, right? Like we're shuffling the deck again, right? We're playing with a
Yeah.
new deck, better yet. I think that it wouldn't be hard to believe that we lose him anyway. So it's probably better to give him a send off now than wait to assume, at least in my opinion, that he's just now destroyed and dead because of the calamity that it's caused, right? With these
Yeah.
incursions and rifts. I think give him a send off. My question to you is if he dies in Brand New Day, how does he die?
The idea that Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey and that Punisher is going to kind of like have her under his wing. Maybe he's protecting her because she's the first mutant, whatever the case may be. I don't want to make my own movie here. But based on the rumors, maybe it's like an accidental like kill. You know, maybe it's like a friendly fire kind of thing where she's trying to help everybody. She's trying to help Spider-Man, Punisher fight these people. Maybe Punisher just kind of gets in the way, or maybe he sacrifices himself for her so she can grow up, and that kind of leads us into the next kind of area like Doomsday, where we kind of get more of the mutant side of things and why they need to be treated as equal. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. I think they more so just kind of write them off. And knowing Marvel, it might be in a really cheap way. You know,
Yeah,
they'll write it off to where it's like, hey, he could return, but at the same time, it's gonna be like, we know that
yeah.
he won't.
I think if I had to choose a way for him to go, I know it's gonna sound crazy, it probably won't happen.
Hit me.
I'd I'd love to see him get pulled apart by the Hulk.
Oh
Because we're
my, just
supposed to get
getting
like a
mauled.
Savage Hulk. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
supposed
I
to get a
mean,
Savage Hulk. Could you imagine the Savage Hulk just grabbing one arm and one leg of Frank Castle and just pulling them
I would,
apart on
I'd
screen?
be saying like, what the
Devastating.
fuck,
That would be so devastating. I would.
dude?
Oh my
I'd be
goodness.
so bummed. I would be like, what the fuck? I'd be so mad. I'd be like, Punisher has taken Hulk on and has beaten him before. But yeah, I mean, we are getting Savage Hulk from what we've heard in the leaks and all that stuff, I mean, who knows what Hulk could do? Hulk could potentially like just really mess up a lot of things. But I don't know. I think it's a fun place to kind of play at though, because I don't want to see John Berthal go. I know he said he's done pretty much done with the character after Brand New
Yeah.
Day and his special.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to think about. It's like an Iron Man situation. I don't even want to think about another person that can put in that role because
Yeah.
who just played them last is so good. You don't want to kind of like be the next person to go into that role.
I was almost hoping.
You don't want to have high expectations for the next person.
No, you're right. I was almost hoping we'd get, and he doesn't have to be there, but I mean, like a Midnight Suns, right? Where we get like this dark part of this, yeah. I mean, we still need a Ghost Rider. I'd love for the Daredevil. I mean, there's a whole. I mean, we already have Mephisto, so we can definitely do like a whole Midnight Suns, where we would get finally like the like Blade, right, come out.
Hmm.
I would love to have that. I think Punisher would be a dope character to be on there as well. But then again, I mean, I get it. John Bernthal, he's not a young guy anymore. You know, a lot of people don't know that John Bernthal is an actual really, real actor. Like, I mean, he's went to school, studied underneath some of the best. He apprenticed underneath some of the best teachers for acting. Like he's
Yeah.
not. He's a real good actor. Like he is a solid actor. So maybe he wants to do more. He wants to leave this, like the comic book cinema world to do stuff that maybe fits more of his other acting abilities. And so I wouldn't want him to be pigeonholed because of my stubbornness to see him, kind of play out one character for the rest of his life. I think, John Bernthal is amazing, and I'd love to see him in anything he does. But I think
Agreed.
if they kill him out, I'll be all right with that. I accept that. Just don't give us a chintzy, corny death. Like, give us something that gives us a good finality for the character so that we can give a good send off. I'm like, all right, I'm happy with that. Give him a
Yeah.
goodbye.
Kind of just go out on the highest of highs that you can. I'm scared that since Marvel tends to do it, they're gonna kind of write him like a wrestler would if they have their last match, where it's like
Mm.
you're gonna go out, you have some hopes of going out on a high, but ultimately, you're on your back and you're looking up at the lights. And I don't like that. I am a firm believer of if you have a character going out, you got to go on a high note. Even if that high note includes like whether like you're dying or a sacrifice,
Mhm.
all the emotions that could play into that here make it better.
Yeah,
I don't see Frank Castle as the kind of guy to sacrifice himself on a whim, but at the same time, I don't know his relationship to Sadie Sink's character yet, and
yeah,
I'm assuming it's going to be revealed and opened up in a lot of ways. So that's going to be
yeah.
exciting, though. Brand New Day is definitely one of my more anticipated movies coming out
I
soon,
agree.
just because
Yeah.
I absolutely love those three characters. I mean, Hulk, Punisher, and Spider Man.
No, I agree. I think the one thing that I hope they don't do is jam pack with like incredible characters, kind of like they did with No Way Home, to
Mhm.
where it feels like the storyline is kind of drowned out because there's so many characters they couldn't kind of play
Yeah.
themselves through. But from what it sounds like is there's a lot of story building there for the potential future of the cinematic universe. So I'm okay with that. Whereas with like No Way Home, we didn't get that. We kind of
Mhm.
got like send-offs and stuff like that. Whereas this feels like with the title Brand New Day, we're gonna get a brand new day. Like, and that one
Yeah.
was okay. That's an end of an era. Here we're ushering in a new one. So I'm hoping that if that stands to be true, that we get some of the best results from it. Because I'm excited for that part, the story building. Show me what you
Yeah.
can do. Don't just give me a bunch of great actors and some high profile roles. Give me good dialogue. I need
True.
that. Don't be what everybody says that are hard critics about comic book cinema and say that it's not real acting. Let's not do that. Give them
Yeah. I don't
something
like
that they
that.
can be like, nah, that's good. That's good writing. Because anybody who says that, again, going back to the Punisher, and that Born Again conversation, they must have never seen that dialogue. They must have never
Right.
seen that dialogue. I guarantee. They don't know that that exists. Because if they did, they'd be like, holy crap, this is good acting. So, but anyways,
100%.
that's how I feel about that. So I am equally excited. I can't wait. We'll see what happens.
And you guys can guarantee it that we will definitely go be seeing Brand New Day, and
Yeah.
we might just drop like a 20-minute kind of reaction immediately getting out of the theater of what we thought and what
Yeah.
could be for the future of these heroes that we love. One of the things I kind of want to jump back into here is with season 2 of Born Again for Daredevil. Now, from here on out, like, where the hell do you think we even go?
I mean, did you hear any rumors about there being a third season?
Yes, that
Because I
did get
haven't heard
confirmed,
any.
actually. It got confirmed.
Okay. So then I would assume that if they do a third season, that this season is going to be a perfect opportunity to build into that third season with the intentions of possibly connecting newer characters, kind of like we're getting with Brand New Day, right?
Yeah.
Like the White Tiger being a prominent figure possibly in the next phase of Marvel movies, right? We might get her in there, right? With next to
Mhm.
a Shuri and all of that, right? So I hope we do that. I think that's what phase season 2 would do, to give way to a season 3 almost as a goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Or we get kind of a tie-in with like I said, the Midnight Suns, right? Or we get a Champions or
Okay.
Defenders. Somehow we get kind of what they did in Netflix, spun around with, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and I don't think did they confirm that we're gonna get Iron Fist? Are we gonna? Did they mention anything
If
about Iron Fist?
if they didn't confirm it, they never should, because that Iron Fist was the worst Iron Fist I've ever seen. I know we only have one live action. That made me so upset when I watched that show. The pilot I thought was just terrible. Um, I honestly I can't even remember everything that happened because I almost had to turn my brain off watching it. I was
See, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind
and
it.
for
I
me,
didn't love it.
I didn't even like the Defenders.
Oh, really? I did though. That was the thing.
No,
That's
see,
why I liked. That's why I didn't mind it because it actually, and that's how you know that they wanted more for Iron Fist because Iron
mhm.
Fist was pivotal to that transition into the Defenders, and I felt like that was dope. Now, could I have had more Jessica Jones and more Luke Cage instead? Hell yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
freaking
that's because
love Luke Cage. Luke Cage, that was my
oh,
shit right
I
there.
mean, Mike Coulter supposedly is going to be back as Luke Cage.
I
Great,
heard that rumor.
great job. He is the
Perfect.
only dude that could really play that role. He is so good. And then we do have Jessica Jones returning for season 2. I mean, we got that already, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That
The
only
thing is
just
with
makes me
her,
worried that Iron Fist is coming back.
well, absolutely. And the thing with Jessica Jones, and a lot of people don't know this about Jessica Jones had a lot of strife with a mutant. A lot of people don't know that her and Rogue were really kind of always between Miss Marvel, Rogue, and freaking Jessica Jones, there was always this beef.
Yeah,
People don't know that shit. But there was like a trifecta of beef between all those three
beef
characters.
trifecta.
Yeah, it was insane because for the same reason that Jessica Jones and Luke Cage pretty much became an item, they actually got married and everything.
Yeah,
It's kind of for the same reason Rogue and Gambit kind of became a thing. It's because Rogue siphons people's abilities and powers in their life, right? She
yeah. I
pulls
mean,
from it.
with just one touch.
And so, almost in a similar essence to Luke Cage, he basically is an infinite amount of power. He can't, unless, and like we see it in the series, there's, you have to get between or in, like, underneath his skin to be able to hurt him. And the thing
Yeah,
is that Rogue could touch him and not take his power,
true. Rogue could touch me and get absolutely nothing from it. Also, so I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
but not for the
Uh,
same reason, damn it.
Not for the same reason. No, 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 no. My mind is probably just wandering off when I thought about Rogue because she's awesome. That's a casting that they're gonna have to nail, whether it's Margaret Qualley or someone else.
That one's gonna
Um,
be, I don't know.
That's
They've
gonna be
got to be
so
somebody
good,
great. That's got to be somebody great. That's all
and they
I'll
got to
say.
have that
But
Southern Belle accent
mm,
to them. I mean, we got to get it. We can't have the original X-Men movie Rogue where it's just like, all right, you're not really Rogue at all. You just kind of dyed the front of your
Jubilee,
hair.
yeah,
Love Jubilee.
she was the prototypical step in for Jubilee. Is really what that was. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
So it just felt weird, like they combined both Rogue and Jubilee to make that character in the cinematic Fox universe appear. But anyway, we'll see what
and
happens with that. But back to Daredevil, like I would love to see that. Yeah, season 2. To answer your question, I think what they do is exactly that. They bring in Luke Cage. They bring in Jessica Jones, possibly an Iron Fist. I know we both agree, we can do without.
mhm.
Um, we get, do we get a Kit Harington as the Black Knight, and do we get possibly an introduction of Mahershala Ali's Blade, considering that Mahershala Ali played in Luke Cage Cottonmouth? Do we get something like that?
I would say without, or maybe with confidence, Mahershala Ali will not be the MCU's Blade. I think they have dropped the ball. They have
Wow.
handcuffed this guy for 6 years, and they haven't done anything with him. Imagine all the roles he could have been doing in the last 6 years if they're like, hey, we're not going to make a movie till 2026. We announced your movie in 2019. Like,
Well, I
come
heard
on.
the reason why it's like that is because he's been passing up on. I don't know if that's true, but rumored so that he's the one that's been passing up the scripts.
Because they
He
probably don't know
hasn't
how to
found the
write a
script that
good
he wants to
Blade
say.
script. And my thing is, how fucking hard is it? And I'm so sorry for my language today. How hard is it to write a Blade movie where you're a vampire just killing vampires, right? With a cool leather jacket on and a cool fucking tattoo. How hard is that? But the thing
Yeah,
that they can't get right from the rumors is they don't know what timepiece this is going to be.
I
You already
know. That's
lost
what I
out
heard.
to Sinners.
Yeah,
Everything you saw in Sinners, that whole costume department, that was literally meant to be for Blade. So
yeah,
now, what you need to do, just set it in the modern city.
yeah,
You could just give me a take
yeah,
for take of the first Blade with Wesley Snipes throwing Mahershala Ali, and I'll fucking eat it up. Because as long as you
yeah.
got a
I
good
think.
sound, a good score to it, and you have a great actor in Mahershala, you can't mess up. You really can't.
I think you're right about modern time. I think what they should do is play on to the background that a whole mysticism that you don't see the world beyond that and that spiritual world happening because it's
Yes.
happening in a dark place that we haven't really witnessed, but in glimpses with Doctor Strange, right? I think they
Yeah.
should be smart enough to incorporate that, which we already caught that at the end of with Kid Harington's character, the Black Knight,
Oh, and
where we heard
Eternals.
his voice, the Eternals, where we heard that end credit scene voice of Mahershala Ali as Blade, where he's getting the Emerald Sword. I think if we do that and we kind of play into that, we lean into that, or Marvel leans into that, we get kind
Mm,
of a way to excuse where he's been all of that time, right? And then Clea and Strange, and possibly a Doctor Strange 3 can kind of tie in. I think, yeah, I don't think we see him in Born Again and whether it's a season 2 or 3, but I do hope that we get some kind of maybe Easter eggs or some kind of talk about it.
yeah.
Because I still want it. And I love that
Oh, same.
I thought the pick from Mahershala Ali was dope for me. Although I'm a big Snipes fan, I also thought if we're gonna get anybody, which we're gonna get, and it ain't Snipes, fine. Give me somebody that I can definitely be
Who's got the
like, oh, I
chops?
love this guy. Yeah. And I think Mahershala Ali has proved that he can do it. So for me, I'm like, fine, but give it to us already. I just need that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think so.
And Mahershala Ali is also just like he's one of those actors too that he's just cool as shit. And
Yeah.
he has that aura to him where like he can command a scene. He's very your eyes are always direct to him. He was really good in Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so good. Like when I forgot when the person would take over his body and start speaking through him and just the way that he would be looking at Alita and the other characters. I mean, he was just phenomenal in that movie. I loved that. I still love that movie. It's probably one of my favorites. That deserves a sequel, by the way, if anybody is listening who works with Warner Brothers and all them. But
Well, we'll see
yeah,
what
and
happens because Warner Brothers, yeah,
that whole fucking deal. I mean, that's a
yeah,
whole episode
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But kind of going back to your question there with seeing Blade and Black Knight here in Daredevil, knowing that Daredevil is going to be 9 episodes long, like the previous season. The one thing I'm scared about is how much are they going to do in so little of time? Even with those 50-minute episodes in season one, there was still some things that they honestly, I wouldn't mind having like an hour each episode. Because once you're going under 40 minutes, sometimes those episodes feel a little rushed. Um, my whole thing would be like, if you introduce Blade and Black Knight into season two, season three, or even like the teaser at the end when Matt's in that building and he's got all those people that he's gathering up to take on uh, Wilson Fisk's forces for the anti-vigilante thing, or maybe you kind of recreate that scene at the end of season three where you lead into like a Midnight Suns movie, like you said. Because then you can have something where if you introduce Blade, you bring him back at the end of three after you give him a movie in between seasons two and three. You got to pull Moon Knight back again. You already have Daredevil.
Yo,
You need to you need to introduce Ghost Rider, and then you have Doctor Strange, and you could just give me that core and Punisher. I mean, if you decide to bring him back, or you recast. But I mean, I would love to see Oscar Isaac interact with Matt Murdock. Whether you see
Oh, that
Steven or
was
Jake Lockley, and like Matt's like, wait, who's
yeah,
talking to me? Because obviously that would just be fun.
yeah.
Kind of playing into his DID kind of situation with Matt Murdock being
Mhm.
blind. I mean, that would just be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun too.
Also, I like thinking of like all the cool action sequences you could do with those guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I hope Midnight Suns gets made because that's a really fun team and it's a lot of really and a lot of the comics and the graphic novels, a lot of really cool artwork, which could make for a lot of really great moments on camera.
Here's another question, and then we can pivot on to the next issue. But here's an important question I kind of saved for last. This question is geared
Yeah.
towards what do we think? Do we get a conversation, or do we get a poster, or do we get some kind of newspaper article? Do we get even a character show up of Spider-Man? Do we get some kind of attachment
Ooh.
of Spider-Man in season 2 because of all that we're gonna get with Brand New Day? Do we get that? Considering Matt was already
I think
in
so.
No Way Home. Do we get a Tom Holland a cameo? Or do we get something less?
I mean, I think you get some sort of mention, and I don't think we're going to get Tom Holland or a Spider-Man appearance because I know Sony is very strict on what they allow Spider-Man to be in when it comes to MCU projects.
Yeah.
Fisk did mention a guy running around in a spider costume in the first season. We could get another mention, and I think we could even also get like another build up where like maybe something with Spider-Man defeating some sort of other bad guys or whatever, just being a vigilante, and they're really targeting him. So it could be like a looking for like Spider-Man kind of posters in the back.
Or
That
a
would be a lot of
bugle,
fun.
right?
Maybe some murals.
Or the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, the bugle.
Yeah, kind of flies,
That would be that
smacks,
would be fun actually.
smacks, and he like in a cartoon moment, he pulls it. He's like Spider Man, like that kind of shit.
Yeah. Like I mean, they already have the bugle in the MCU, but pulling in like the physical place and like maybe having like something with like a case that happens with one of their employees, or
Yeah.
maybe something with Jonah. Who knows? Maybe Jonah has Wilson Fisk on his podcast, and they start talking about vigilantes and how bad they are.
I lied. I got
That
one
could
other
be something
question
because
about this real quick too, but go ahead.
hit me.
Do we get a Kate Bishop in Daredevil or Brand New Day? Do we get a Miss Marvel? Remember, this is all in the same area. Why are we not getting a Miss Marvel
Yeah,
who's in Jersey, literally across the Hudson, and a Kate Bishop, which is in the city?
she's in the city. Yes,
She's in the
literally,
city,
probably a few buildings over.
straight up.
Who knows how much Haley Steinfeld has recorded or has done for Kate Bishop? But congratulations to her and Josh on the pregnancy. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, Aman Vellani's Kamala Khan. I want more Miss Marvel. I really
Yeah,
loved that show.
I
I thought it
love
was
that
great.
show.
You need to have a lot of these New York characters
Yeah.
interact because they're closer than you think. You know,
Or
like
give us an explanation of why they're not in it, right? Like don't leave us hanging. Like at least say, Miss Marvel's on the
right.
West Coast, right? Or she's on the West Coast with the Avengers. Some give us heck, even matter of fact, now I think about it, Thunderbolts are in New York. Are you not gonna mention the fucking fact?
They
Wait,
literally have the building.
yeah, what are we talking about here? Like, give us some kind of semblance or some connection to it, because it feels as if when they don't mention that, it feels like they don't got their shit together. Excuse my language, but it feels like they don't got this shit together.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need to mention it. They need to put it into effect. I mean, we need to see some of that in there. I don't think that you have a Fisk as mayor with a vigilante squad, and these things don't get played into it. That just does not happen.
Yeah, or you don't even talk about them.
It's just incredibly insane to think otherwise.
I agree. That's actually a really fantastic point. We'll leave it up to the audience
Yeah,
to think of what they want
yeah,
for season 2.
yeah.
We should just go through. We'll just pivot right to the next spot that we want to go over here. I want to go through and I want to answer some of your guys' questions from last episode. So a lot of people were responding to the whole Star Wars question that we asked, whether it's you prefer the sequels, the originals, or the prequels.
Yeah. What they
That
got?
poll is at 50%.
Mm-hmm.
They are split across the board. They love the prequels and they love the originals. The sequels have 0 votes.
The
So
prequels.
there's really the prequels have 50%, originals are 50. Nobody
You
wants those
guys
sequels
don't
as their favorite.
love number 3? Come on.
Like
The-
I I I might have been. I don't think the sequel trilogy holds up as my favorites, but we do appreciate everybody voting on those polls because it was really fun to kind of see how it was bouncing back and forth for a while. And jumping into a few of the questions here, we have 3 questions from our listeners. One from Xander, one of my good friends Z. He wants to do a villain or a fantasy draft, choosing 5 characters to go up against each other, debating who would win and why, and letting the viewers decide in a poll.
Okay.
That is a fantastic, fun question.
Yeah.
That I think is something we will definitely do in another episode
Yeah.
because that will go on for
Wait,
30 minutes
with
itself.
specifics, what universe are we talking about? Or does it just not matter?
Both. Like just throwing both in there. Like we could have fucking Omni Man in there with Superman and all that kind of stuff, or even Homelander. So I mean,
Ah,
that's something
shit.
that
Ugh.
I'll do some note taking before we ever
Yeah.
answer
Oh,
that
that's
question.
scary. I don't like that. Omni-Man and freaking
Yeah.
Homelander. Oh, all right. Go ahead.
And Superman, I mean, have fun.
Hell, throw Darth Vader in there.
Literally, what can you do? Yeah, like the power levels. I mean, that's a fantastic question. That's such a good segment
Yeah,
for a whole
good
episode. So
segment.
we appreciate that, Z. And then from Trevor here, 2 questions from Trevor. Would love to hear our thoughts about the best trilogies. Now, I
Mhm.
read this as trilogies as just movies that have had 3. So whether they're superhero or not. So that's something
Mhm.
we'll probably talk about in another episode. And then the last one here is ranking the Marvel TV shows. So a lot of these questions that you guys have asked, as fantastic as they are, that's something that we'll probably throw into a whole episode. That'll be like a review episode where we just talk about and go over everything. Because if I had to
I
rank the
think
Marvel
we
TV shows, that would be hard.
let's let's do let's at least pick one of those questions to answer on a topical level right now, and then we do a deep dive later.
Okay, give me your top 5 Marvel shows at the top of your head.
Okay. Okay. I think we've spent a good time talking about Daredevil. So I've got to put that. The placement is the rough part, right? It's not just the picks, it's the
Yeah.
placement. But I got to say, if I went strictly, if I didn't do Netflix, right, and I just went Disney, for instance, I
Uh-huh.
would then say, for me, Loki is probably top tier. I
Yes.
think that's got to be God level number 1. I don't think nothing knocks that off. I think just beneath that, I would then go. I would have to go with, and I really freaking loved Moon Knight so much.
That's
I
fun.
adored Moon Knight. I loved it so much. I tuned in and watched that religiously. I freaking loved it. So I would say, and I know people are gonna be like, WandaVision? No, what? I'm gonna say Moon Knight is my number 2. So
Mhm.
low key 1, Moon Knight number 2. I will put WandaVision as 3. And then I really loved. I so loved Echo.
Oh,
I
wow.
know it didn't get a whole lot of love. I know it didn't get a whole lot of light, but I
Yeah.
love all the cultural identity. I love it was during the pandemic, so there was a lot of shut-ins, so maybe it didn't get enough love. And it was
Mhm.
a lot going on during that time that it came out. It was very politicized, but I loved it because I thought it brought in a whole lot of was there I didn't like the finale of it, to be honest. I felt that was kind of rushed,
Yeah.
but I loved everything else about it.
That's surprising because Echo is dead last on my list. Like in
And
all of
I
the
and
shows, in
actually,
all 14 shows.
I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm just giving it honorable mentions. It's not on my list actually.
Okay, okay, okay.
So my number 4 is going to be Born Again.
Very fair.
So let me look at this again. I got Loki.
Moon Knight.
I've got WandaVision. Oh, Moon Knight, excuse me. Moon Knight, WandaVision, Daredevil's Born Again, and then lastly, what else is there? I can't even think about what
I mean,
else
we
is
have Hawkeye, Ironheart, Falcon and
there.
the Winter Soldier, She-Hulk, Agatha All
Nah,
Along.
no. I already you mentioned it, and I can't believe I forgot this, but Ironheart. For sure.
Wow, I love it.
For sure, Ironheart. Ironheart was so dope. I loved the music. I loved Riri Williams. I loved Anthony Ramos. Shout out to him, Puerto Rican from the Heights. He's amazing. He raps, he sings, he's Boricua, like, hey, I'm with it, man. That's my guy. And then we had a Mephisto, finally.
Let's
And
go.
there was no disappointment there. I thought that was so brilliant. I
It was the
loved
best.
even the ending of it. It was great.
The reflection in the
Honorable
spoon,
mention,
so good.
everything. It was beautiful. The fact that he went to that pizzeria in Chicago, which is a great pizza, Giordano's, which is a great pizza
So
place.
good. Love that
Um,
pizza.
so then I would say that's my 5 with honorable mentions to Miss Marvel and Echo. And I loved Agatha all along, don't get me wrong, but I felt like it could have been a season 2 to WandaVision. Like we could have got something in that vein. So
That's a great
that's
list.
my 5. What do you got? What do
My
you got?
top 5 is number 1 Loki, especially season 2. That was one of the greatest seasons of
Beautiful.
TV I've ever watched. Number
How do you
2,
not rate that high when you got Rick and Morty writers? I mean, how do
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, how do you? Yeah.
it's so
Anyways, go ahead.
good.
All right. It's too
Number
good. It's
2,
too good.
Miss Marvel. I love Miss Marvel. I really loved that character a lot, even when back in even high school. It's what every teenager do when you love superheroes. You nerd out about them. You have posters in your room. Who wouldn't want to be a
Yeah.
superhero? And I just love Iman Vellani. She is up there with Robert Downey Jr. casting of no one else can do that role like her.
I
Number
can agree
3,
with that 100%.
WandaVision.
Good. Okay.
Fucking every week after week, when we're going on social media, going, what the hell is even going to happen in the next episode? The online
Yes.
discourse that show had was just special, and it
Yeah.
was a very special time for me. Number 4, I'm
Yeah.
surprised you didn't even say this at all here, so I'm gonna steal it from you. Wonder Man. That was
Oh,
such a great show.
dude, you are right.
Top 5
God.
MCU shows. I mean, it is just
God.
Yahya Abdul Mateen, and he is just incredible. He is impeccable, actually.
Damn.
And then number 5, I have Born Again. Honorable mention is Moon Knight and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
Damn, man, that is good.
yeah,
I would.
I was shocked you
God,
didn't
that
say
that
Wonder Man.
makes
I
me.
was like, I was waiting for it.
I know. You know why? Because it's still fresh in my mind, and therefore,
Yeah,
like it's just too good. Yeah, I don't. Damn, man, that makes me rethink it. But I'm gonna stick with my 5. Say number 6 is Wonder Man. Um,
fair.
I would then say, and actually, I think you mentioned another one that I didn't give credit to, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier, definitely in there. And then that would be my number 7. My number 8 would then be Miss Marvel, and then Echo. So I think that would be the round out.
That's a good
I didn't
round
really
out.
care for the Hawkeye so much. I thought the Hawkeye was
Oh,
dope,
I
but I
loved
didn't
it.
love it. It was all
I
right.
loved it so
I
much.
liked the Kate Bishop of it. I liked the intrigue of it. I I felt like what was missing was again Spider-Man. I think there was things like that. You don't get a New York show without like having some of these characters. And it was at the same time we got him back in they confirmed that he wasn't leaving the MCU. Like there was so
Yeah.
much happening at the time that I felt like we could have had mention of him. We could have had more impact of him. So yeah, and I didn't like the Wilson Fisk in the tropical shirt thing. That was corny to me.
Oh, I loved
I
it.
like that they brought him back, but I was like, why?
It was so
Man, you
good.
should have been. He looked disheveled. He looked distraught, and I was like, that ain't Wilson Fisk, man. That guy's coming out of like his Netflix era. Like I was like,
Yeah.
no, man, that guy. This is the same guy that smashed someone's head in a door. You gonna keep
Yeah.
wearing the Hawaiian t-shirt? Up out of here.
My favorite thing,
Yeah,
because Hawkeye was definitely one of my favorites. Um, two quick points for that. One, we got Swordsman, and he's also going to be in season 2 of Born Again. And then
okay, true.
secondly, uh, me and my group of internet friends here actually met for the first time uh, in Tennessee. My good friend JT and my other great friend Sean. And Sean is like 6 foot.
JT, what up,
I'm
Sean?
I'm gonna extend. This is gonna be kind of dramatized probably, but Sean is like 6'6". He is a tall dude, bald. No offense to him for being bald. That's just what Wilson Fisk looks like. But he has this white suit that he wore like Wilson Fisk. Me, JT, his wonderful wife Madison, we were the tracksuit mafia, and
What up, Madison?
we all went to the Comic Con as Fisk with the tracksuit mafia, and it was just
That's
so much
dope.
fun. So it's a really special
We need
show to me because
pictures.
that's where
We need pictures. We need
I
pictures.
have
Put it in
pictures.
the chat.
I have the tracksuit
All right.
mafia still in my closet. It's like my
All
Spider-Man
right.
costume. I sit there and I look at it and I'm like, I got to put this thing on one more time. But yeah, so that's why I love the Hawkeye show. Pivoting over to pretty much the finale of where we're going to end this out here. We have our
Yeah.
question for the fans, and
Yeah.
we talked about this in the pre-show. If you guys were to go through and reboot Spawn, because we heard the Jamie
Mhm.
Foxx stuff, obviously because what Bruce said earlier is health, that whole kind of scare, maybe kind of take it into a different direction is the best thing to do for this franchise. So, question for everybody is: who would you want to be cast as Spawn? And if you're casting anybody else like Violator or his wife, um, who are you guys picking? So let us know in the comments. And before we go, Bruce, let me know, what are your thoughts? Who are you casting? And give us your list here.
I think you and I kind of have overlapping in this area too for our answers. I think Denzel Washington's son, what's his name?
John David
What was his name
Washington,
again?
GOAT.
John David Washington as Spawn. I
Hmm.
gotta go there. Um, I think as Violator, we also agreed, and you brought up a good point. Would have been God, I said Vincent D'Onofrio, but then you said somebody else.
Paul
What's
Walter
his name?
Hauser.
Paul Walter Hauser. I think he's
He would
perfect
have been
casting for that.
great.
Holy moly. So he's my Violator. Um, I think the only place that we differed was on the wife, right? I
And
think
the homeless
Tiana
guy.
Taylor would be. No, I think we kind of settled on that because you went with I said William H. Macy, but I think you said
Steve Buscemi.
who'd you say again? I love I think either one of those would fit that
No
role
doubt.
iconically. They fit that really well. I don't really have a hard pick for that. I can go either way with that one. And I think that's my pick. So Washington for Spawn, Tiana Taylor for the wife, Paul Walter Hauser for the Violator, and William H. Macy or what's his name? Freaking God, I can't. I just said his name. Steve Buscemi for the homeless angel dude or whatever.
It's like
But
Eric or
yeah, I think
something.
that's my pick. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we pretty
All
much
right,
agreed on
who
the
you?
same exact thing. The only difference that we had was just his wife as Wanda Blake, and I
Mm,
had Chase Infinity. Um, she is absolutely gorgeous, and
she's good.
I think she
Yeah.
could pull it off. Um, but yeah, I mean it would be a really solid cast, and I think, like we said earlier in the pre-show, like Spawn deserves a good cast. It deserves the care that it needs, and it could really take off because it
Wait.
could.
There was one other role we forgot. The director.
Oh my God, yeah. We said a few
I
earlier. Hit me
said
with yours.
I said Sam Raimi.
Yes,
I need the Evil Dead effects and all of that crap that we had in Mom. I need that. I need that to be in Spawn. I want that. I want that ill effect. I said, secondly, Guillermo del Toro. I said, because
yes.
he's so haunting and so dark with his shit. Um, I think I would love that. Yeah, yeah,
I would. I know earlier I said. Who did I say earlier? I said Simon McCoy, who did the reboot for
yeah,
Mortal Kombat recently because he has a fun experience with like action and all that stuff. But
yeah.
thinking more about it here, if we're going more on like who could really pull maybe like a horror kind of vibe to it here, James Wan. That's who I would
Okay,
pick for Spawn.
okay,
A guy who really
okay.
good at like those like kind of like horror elements, can make things really scary. I thought he did a really good
Yeah.
job with Aquaman. But that would be my few picks.
I got one boomerang question, one surprise question.
Let's do it.
Who would be a horrible director for it? Pick one crazy pick,
Oh,
one insanely absurd pick. Like one person and chat, you guys too, throw one horrible director for it. Give me one nasty one.
John Watts. Because if those if the Spawn movie's anything like Spider-Man Homecoming or Far From Home, I don't want it.
Here's my pick. You ready?
Hit me.
Tarantino.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be bad. Or you make Spawn a Spike Lee joint, you know?
Hey, look, hey man, that might actually
That
work.
would be kind of fun.
Considering considering the fact that it's because that would be like saying getting Coogler to do it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that would
Right,
be
yeah.
something that it could pivot in. But Tarantino, hell no, you got
No, get him out
or
of here.
um what's my guy Tim Burton? He'd make
Oh,
it comical.
he would make it weird. He would have a white guy as Spawn. That's what Tim Burton
Holy
would
shit,
do.
you out there. Oh God,
He'd be
that'd
like,
be
you know what?
horrible.
Johnny Depp is Spawn. And I'd probably jump out of a window. I would jump out of a window. I could not do that.
Amber Heard is the wife.
Yeah, Amber Heard is the white. Everybody is. It is an all white cast. That's just we got to avoid that guy.
The homeless man, Ian McKellen.
Yeah, the homeless man. That would be so bad. Oh my God. And Tim Burton, if anybody close to you ever shows you this clip, I would gladly love
Sorry.
to be in one of your movies and get killed. So
Any one of
just
them.
for
Yeah, just
future
put me in one.
reference.
I'll be an extra.
Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are our questions for you guys. Rebooting Spawn, who you guys casting, who is directing. It would be a lot of fun to see what you guys think, and if there's different actors or actresses out there that you guys have. I mean, I'm interested to see what other people pick. So, just whatever you do, it
Do
can't
your
be a white
Googles.
guy as Spawn.
Don't do it.
Don't give me
Don't
Ryan
do it.
Gosling as Spawn, or I'll punch you through the
No,
comments. You can't do that.
no, I don't need it. No,
It's like the whole
no.
Ryan
We won't
Gosling as
even.
Black Panther again. Just can't do
Oh no, no, no. We would not.
it.
I will. I will shame you and never talk about it. I treat it like it
Yeah,
does not exist. I'm telling you now. Don't do it to yourself. And again, the bonus question: one
yeah.
odd duck director that
One
doesn't
odd
fit the
duck director.
criteria.
Yeah,
I think we'll do that quite often too. We'll try and pivot like the weird pick too. You know what I mean for
yeah.
anything that we do. But yeah,
But definitely let us know in the comments whether you guys are commenting on Spotify here or even in our Discord, letting us know. I mean, we're pretty active there. But you guys know where to find us on all of our socials. But yeah, thank you so much
share
for
us,
tuning in. Share, follow,
share
like.
us.
We really love having this fun community to talk to, and you guys have been absolutely great thus far. We appreciate you guys. Everybody take care. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great week coming up. And we'll see you on the next time on the Quantum Couch.
Steven, hit him with the outro, bro. Hit him with the outro music. Later.
The Quantum Couch. The Quantum Couch. The Quantum Couch. You that a bit ass shit. The Quantum Couch. You that a bit ass shit. It's Steven and Bruce. The Quantum Couch.